My roommate likes to take advantage of small gains. The jade bracelet I brought from my hometown appeared on her wrist the very next day. I quickly asked her to take it off. This is a luck-changing bracelet, and it has already recognized its owner. If anyone else wears it, it will only bring bad luck. My roommate called me stingy and said I cursed her, and the next day she fell down the stairs. She pointed at my nose and started yelling, "Song Bing! It's because I wore your bracelet that I broke my leg, you have to pay for it." Did she think getting the money meant she got a huge advantage? Little did she know, her misfortune had only just begun. Just before graduation, my mom sent me a jade bracelet from my hometown. The jade bracelet was translucent all over, as if it had been soaked in water, emitting a soft and smooth luster. But in the time it took me to go downstairs to pick up a takeout order, the bracelet ended up on the wrist of my roommate. Bai Xinshin stroked the bracelet, somewhat reluctant to take it off. She frantically hinted to me, "Bing Bing, this bracelet fits me perfectly. Could it be the birthday gift you bought for me?" I was greatly shocked in my heart. "Xinshin, this is a lucky bracelet that my mom had blessed for me to change my fortune. If anyone else wears it, it will only bring bad luck. You should take it off right now." Bai Xinshin's face immediately changed color. "What kind of lucky bracelet? Stop trying to scare me here. I must have had the worst luck in 8 lifetimes to end up sharing a dorm with someone like you." After saying that, she forcefully took off the bracelet and threw it onto my bed. I quickly put the bracelet away. Luckily, Bai Xinshin didn't throw it on the ground, otherwise if the bracelet had broken, it would have been disastrous. When my mom mailed the bracelet, she specifically reminded me that this lucky bracelet needs to be kept close to the body for 14 days before wearing it. Therefore, I deliberately placed the bracelet in the innermost pocket of my clothes. But the next day after swimming class, when I was changing clothes, I discovered that the bracelet in my pocket was actually missing. I immediately called my boyfriend Qingjun and asked him if he had seen my bracelet, because he was the one who helped me put away my clothes, and only he had access to the locker key. But Qingjun hemmed and hawed, constantly changing the subject. "I'm getting anxious. Did you really take the bracelet? This is a luck bracelet. Others can't wear it, or they'll have bad luck." Before I could finish my sentence, Qingjun interrupted me. "Songbing, stop making false accusations. Why would I, a grown man, take your bracelet? You must have misplaced it yourself and forgotten where you put it." After saying that, Qingjun angrily hung up the phone, but I searched through the lockers in the locker room and the dormitory, and couldn't find the bracelet anywhere. I was in utter despair and prepared to call my mom to confess the matter. Just as I opened my phone, I received a message from my best friend Susu. That was an extremely blurry video. "Bing Bing, is this your boyfriend in the video?" My heart instantly sank when I looked. It was indeed my boyfriend, Qingjun, even though it was taken from behind. I recognized him at a glance. In the dim, ambiguous lighting of the restaurant's private room, he was sitting next to a girl, celebrating her birthday. Their intimate posture made it clear at once that their relationship was anything but ordinary. Suddenly, I noticed that the girl beside him was wearing a jade bracelet on her wrist. It's almost identical to the lucky bracelet I lost. My vision went black, and I was so angry I nearly passed out. I asked Susu if she knew the girl standing next to Qingjun. Susu typed for quite a while before finally sending a message over. "Don't you think this girl's back looks familiar?" I took a closer look and almost fainted again. "Isn't that Bai Xinshin from our dorm?" It suddenly occurred to me that today is her birthday, and at this hour, she would normally have been back in the dorm long ago. But today, she didn't return to the dormitory until midnight. Bai Xinshin is a dance student who transferred to our dormitory only in the 2nd semester of her sophomore year. She has a fair, youthful, and slender appearance, which makes her quite endearing. The teacher said her family background is not well off and asked me to take extra care of her usually, so whenever I buy food or drinks, I always save a portion for her. But I never expected that this habit would make Bai Xinshin think she could just take my things without asking. She even openly wore the jade bracelet my mom sent me, putting it on her own wrist. Lately, she's been sticking close to me and Qingjun, saying she's been a bit short on money and needs to mooch meals off us, but now she's already a somewhat famous online dance streamer, so she definitely doesn't need the money for this meal. I thought at the time she was just used to having meals with me, but it turns out she had already hooked up with Qingjun. I quickly took out my phone and called Bai Xinshin, but no one answered the call. Just as I was about to send her a message, I came across a post she had shared on her Moments. "The guy I like gave me the gift I love, a double surprise for my birthday." Below are 2 accompanying pictures. One shows Bai Xinshin leaning intimately on a guy's shoulder. The other picture is of Bai Xinshin's wrist, wearing exactly the lost lucky bracelet that belonged to me. There are actually many similar styles of jade bracelets. But the one my mom had specially made for me to bring good luck has a red, eye-shaped pattern on the outer rim. My mom specifically sought out a master craftsman to carve it for me. Even if the bracelets happened to look similar, this pattern couldn't possibly be exactly the same, and the shoulder that Bai Xinshin was leaning against, even though the face wasn't visible, I recognized it at a glance. It was my boyfriend of 2 years, Qing Jun. My bracelet had only been missing for half a day when it appeared on Bai Xinshin's wrist. It was clear that Qing Jun had stolen my jade bracelet to please Bai Xinshin, or perhaps Bai Xinshin had taken a liking to my bracelet and, seeing that she couldn't take it openly, had Qing Jun steal it for her. I was so angry I felt like vomiting blood. When Qing Jun was pursuing me, he made all sorts of vows and promises, swearing undying love. But in the end, he actually went behind my back and got involved with another girl. How can there be such a disgusting guy in the world? No matter what, I need to find a way to get the lucky bracelet back first, or something big will happen. But Bai Xinshin didn't return to the dorm all night, and her phone was constantly unreachable. I had no choice but to send her a message. Bai Xinshin, the bracelet you're wearing is my lucky charm bracelet. I've told you before that this jade bracelet has been blessed. And if anyone else wears it, it will bring bad luck. I'm not trying to scare you. Please return the bracelet to me as soon as possible, otherwise, if something happens, I won't be able to help you. But to my surprise, Bai Xinshin not only had no intention of returning my bracelet but also blocked me. The next day at noon, I intercepted Qing Jun at the entrance of the teaching building. Without further ado, I shoved the photo from Bai Xinshin's social media right in front of Qing Jun's face. Qing Jun froze for a moment, but still refused to back down. Bing, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not close with her, and besides, don't all jade bracelets look the same? You're questioning me over a picture. You're way too paranoid. I rolled my eyes and then tossed him the video that Susu had sent me. Qing Jun's face visibly lost its color. Songbing, you actually followed me secretly. I was just accompanying a classmate to celebrate their birthday. So what? It wasn't just the two of us at the scene. And this video doesn't prove anything, I laughed. Finish watching the video first before you say anything. At the end of the video, Bai Xinshin kissed Qing Jun on the cheek without any regard for others, and Qing Jun did not avoid it. Instead, he held Bai Xinshin tightly in his arms. After watching the video, Qing Jun fell silent. At that moment, Bai Xinshin suddenly appeared and stood in front of Qing Jun. Songbing, don't think that just because you have some money, you can do whatever you want. If it weren't for Qing Jun not being able to afford tuition back then, he would never have been with a toad like you. I'm telling you, Qing Jun's true love is me. He endured the disgust and stayed with you for 2 years. During these 2 years, he worked like a horse to please you. Isn't that enough? And now you're embarrassing him in public. You've gone too far. Qing Jun flusteredly tried to cover Bai Xinshin's mouth, but she only spoke more energetically. I looked at Qing Jun with a face full of disappointment. Qing Jun, do you think so too? Qing Jun stammered without saying anything, probably not wanting to lose face in front of Bai Xinshin. I snorted coldly. Since that's the case, let's break up. I hired a lawyer and got back all the money I had spent on Qing Jun over the past 2 years. Qing Jun had no money, so it's likely that Bai Xinshin used the rewards from her sugar daddy to help him pay it back. But even though Bai Xinshin helped him pay back all the money, she still didn't return my lucky bracelet. I waited in the dormitory for a whole week, but Bai Xinshin never came back. I had no choice but to stake out the dance studio, and I finally caught Bai Xinshin just after her class ended. She is still wearing my lucky bracelet on her hand. I don't know if it's my imagination, but the red eye pattern on the bracelet seems to have grown larger. Faced with my questioning, Bai Xinshin remained completely unruffled. She raised her wrist and proudly showed it off to me. You guessed right, this bracelet was given by Qing Jun, and he even gave himself to me. We're already living together. I just don't want to return this bracelet to you. What can you do about it? Do you have any proof that it's yours? Or if you call it, will it answer? After saying this, Bai Xinshin laughed triumphantly. I was so angry that I gritted my teeth. Bai Xinshin, for the sake of our past as roommates, I'm warning you, return my bracelet immediately, or it'll be too late. Bai Xinshin continued to smirk triumphantly. This is clearly the bracelet my boyfriend bought for me. I even have the receipt and invoice. How can you claim it's yours without any proof? As she spoke, Bai Xinshin pulled the receipt from her bag and waved it in front of my eyes. It seems she's dead set on not returning my bracelet. I remained silent for a moment, then asked her with a last glimmer of hope, Bai Xinshin, I'll say this one last time, this is a luck bracelet. If anyone else wears it, they'll have bad luck. Please return it to me now. Bai Xinshin rolled her eyes. Are you out of your mind? If you keep cursing me like this, I'm going to call the police. You can't reason with someone who's determined to die. Since she insists on keeping something that doesn't belong to her, I have nothing more to say. Bai Xinxin is a dance blogger with 100,000 followers. Besides dancing for her sponsors and asking for tips, she also shares details of her daily life during her live streams. That evening, when I opened Douyin, I happened to come across her talking about the bracelet in her live stream. My roommate in the dorm is acting like she has some kind of delusion, insisting that my bracelet is hers. This was clearly a gift from my friend. I even have the receipt. But my roommate keeps saying it's her lucky bracelet and that I'll definitely have bad luck if I wear it. Bai Xinxin, fair-skinned and slender, spoke earnestly, and as she did, fans in the live stream began to voice their support and outrage on her behalf. Xinxin, is it possible your roommate just wants your jade bracelet? You'd better be careful. Who knows what she might do next? This is hilarious. We live in a society governed by law. And yet someone would actually try to snatch someone else's belongings in broad daylight. She must be out of her mind. Maybe he's just a lunatic. Some girls these days are so vain and materialistic. Among these comments, one stood out as particularly different. Classmate, that jade bracelet of yours really seems to be a luck-changing bracelet. If it doesn't belong to you, you'd better return it, or it might really bring you bad luck. If I were Bai Xinxin, I'd probably suspect that I was the one who posted that comment, but I really didn't do anything. The fans in the live stream room couldn't stay calm. Xinxin, is this your roommate with delusional disorder? She actually followed you to the live stream room. That's terrifying. You should call the police right away. Exactly. Someone like that might have mental issues. Bai Xinxin put on a frightened expression. Thank you everyone for your concern. I'll call the police as soon as I finish the live stream. I saw Qingjun and Bai Xinxin again in the school cafeteria. Qingjun was carefully peeling the shells off the shrimp for Bai Xinxin, then placed the shrimp meat into her bowl with a doting expression. I remember when I first got together with Qingjun, I never had to handle any food with skin myself. He spoiled me like a child. At that time, I was certain that he was the one I wanted to marry in this lifetime, but 3 months ago, his attitude toward me suddenly changed. My finger is injured, and the doctor told me not to get it wet for a week. I just asked Qingjun to help me peel an orange, and he seemed a bit impatient. My hands are for playing the violin. What if peeling an orange injures them? But he seems to have forgotten that the 200,000 yuan violin he uses was a birthday gift I bought for him. I suppose it was around that time that Qingjun and Bai Xinxin had already gotten involved. When Bai Xinxin saw me, she wasn't the least bit flustered. In fact, she was a bit sarcastic. She elegantly placed the peeled shrimp into her mouth, looking quite pleased with herself. Those who aren't loved are the real third parties. Some people always think that with money, they can buy anything, but they don't realize that true love is priceless. No amount of money can buy it. After saying that, Bai Xinxin deliberately waved the jade bracelet on her wrist back and forth in front of my eyes. She was showing off to me. Even if the bracelet on her wrist was mine, there was nothing I could do about it. Just like when she stole my man, I had no choice but to let go. Looking at this despicable couple, I suddenly felt a bit disgusted. I originally wanted to step forward and tell her about the dangers of the lucky bracelet, but since she's so determined to seek her own demise, I can only respect her wishes. Besides, I'm also very curious to see just how unlucky one can get after wearing a lucky bracelet that someone else has blessed. The retribution came quickly. That evening, Bai Xinxin was in her live stream showcasing her graceful dance moves for her wealthy patrons. In a moment of carelessness, she actually fell down the stairs. Immediately after, the live stream was suddenly shut down, and I knew she must have been seriously hurt this time. Sure enough, early the next morning, I came across news about Bai Xinxin on the school forum. Have you heard? Bai Xinxin from our school's dance class fell from upstairs during a live stream and is still in the hospital receiving emergency treatment. No way. Girls who study dance care the most about their appearance. With a fall like that, could it mean she won't be able to dance anymore? Not sure. I heard her boyfriend waited outside the operating room for a whole day and night. Hey, you think her boyfriend is worried about her? I heard their shared apartment lease is up, and the guy can't come up with the rent, so he's rushing to get money from Bai Xinxin. Being a streamer is great. Just a few casual moves and you earn as much as an ordinary person makes in a month. The classmates on the forum were all talking at once, saying all sorts of things. However, it was my roommate Li Yun who shared the most accurate gossip with me. She said that Bai Xinxin broke her leg, spent a lot of money on surgery, and probably won't be able to dance for a long time. When Qingjun found out, his first reaction wasn't about Bai Xinxin's injury, but that she wouldn't be able to earn money from live streaming during this period. After they got together, their expenses had been very high, and it was all paid by Bai Xinxin, and Bai Xinxin, in order to win against me, also tried hard to act gentle and generous in front of Qingjun. In reality, these were nothing but her disguises. Bai Xinxin, who had broken her leg, was already in a bad mood. As soon as she woke up, Qingjun urgently asked her for money, and they ended up arguing right in the hospital. Qingjun was also quite frustrated, as he had been accompanying Bai Xinxin on various outings these past few days and hadn't even been able to attend classes properly, but in the end, all that was left was resentment. The two of them argued loudly in the hospital without regard for the setting, and as a result, onlookers posted the incident online. Now, everyone knows that the pure and charming dance blogger Bai Xinxin actually has a boyfriend who lives off her. I wonder how the big spenders who have been spending money on her will feel about this. Yesterday, Qingjun and Bai Xinxin, who were still showing off their love at school, are now arguing fiercely over a few $1,000s. So-called true love really can stand the test. I originally wanted to quietly watch the drama, but I didn't expect the drama to come find me. After finishing dinner in the evening, I planned to go to the library to read for a while. No sooner had I sat down than someone grabbed my wrist and angrily dragged me out of the library. I was so startled, thinking I had encountered some thug, but when I looked closely, it turned out to be Qingjun. He pointed at me furiously and yelled, "Songbing, did you tamper with that bracelet?" Xinxin has never had any issues while live streaming her dance before, so why did she fall this time? I've thought it over and over, and I'm sure there's something wrong with the bracelet she was wearing. You must have resented Xinxin for taking me away from you, so you deliberately found a way to get back at her, right? How could you be so malicious? And besides, Xinxin and I used to get along really well, but lately we've been arguing all the time. Even our classmates are always causing trouble, and it's all your fault. You must be jealous that Xinxin took what was yours, so you tampered with the bracelet and caused her to break her leg. She can't even stream her dance performances now. You have to take responsibility for the medical expenses and all the losses. Qingjun seemed to be extremely agitated, looking for someone to blame for the conflicts between him and Bai Xinxin. His words were becoming somewhat incoherent. I was so angered by his illogical outburst that I laughed. Didn't Bai Xinxin say that the bracelet you bought for her was a birthday gift? She refused to admit it was my bracelet before, so why is she admitting it's mine now that there's a problem? Qingjun, as my boyfriend, not only did you cheat on me, but you also stole my bracelet to give to your mistress. Now that something has happened to her, you want me to take responsibility. Don't you think these actions are utterly shameless? Taking advantage of Qingjun's momentary confusion, I swung my arm and slapped him hard across the face. Qingjun was infuriated by my slap and tried to hit me back. I quickly shouted towards the teacher on duty not far away on the first floor of the library, "Someone, come quickly, someone is about to start a fight." There were quite a few students studying in the library in the evening. Soon, more than a dozen passing students had gathered around Qingjun and me, several of whom were from our department. After learning about Qingjun's scumbag behavior, everyone felt indignant on my behalf. Qingjun couldn't save face, so he could only glare at me and hurriedly leave. Afraid that the bracelet might cause more trouble, I sent Qingjun a message. "This is my final warning to you. Return my bracelet immediately, or your unlucky days are far from over." But unexpectedly, as soon as the message was sent, Bai Xinxin's call came through. "Songbing, are you ever going to stop? That bracelet was clearly bought for me by Qingjun. I've told you countless times. Why do you still cling to him? Please don't disturb our lives anymore, or I'll call the police and report you for harassment." After saying this, Bai Xinxin angrily hung up the phone. It has to be said, Bai Xinxin is incredibly foolish. Even Qingjun felt that the jade bracelet might be problematic, but Bai Xinxin absolutely refused to swap the bracelet back. It's no wonder, when she first moved into our dorm, she was already notorious for taking advantage of others. Even though she's made some money from live streaming now, how could she possibly change her habit of taking advantage of others so quickly? This was indeed just the beginning. Within a few days, Qingjun and Bai Xinxin had another conflict. Qingjun received financial aid every year. Even though his circumstances were no longer as difficult later on, he still got a share of the class's financial aid. The person responsible for registering and reviewing the financial aid applications was Qingjun's fellow townsman, who was also the president of the student union. The president is a girl. As soon as Bai Xinxin's leg got a little better, she grabbed her crutches and went to cause trouble in that girl's class. She claimed that Qingjun was secretly having an ambiguous relationship with that girl behind her back. Of course, that girl would never admit it. After all, every time Qingjun received financial aid, he would take a cut and give it to her. If this matter blew up, everyone would find out that she had been taking kickbacks by leveraging her position as student council president. She might even get a major demerit or even fail to graduate, but Bai Xinxin seemed possessed, refusing to let this go. She even dragged Qingjun and that girl out in public to confront them face to face. Qingjun and the woman had no romantic involvement, but there was indeed a hidden, unspeakable relationship between them. Qingjun found himself in a dilemma, neither admitting nor denying it would work. So he pretended to have something urgent to do and fled the apartment he shared with Bai Xinshin. He thought that as long as he wasn't around, the two women wouldn't be able to stir up any trouble, but that very night, Bai Xinshin started live streaming again. Her leg injury hasn't fully healed yet, so she can only go live to chat with everyone. It had only been a short month since they last saw her. But Bai Xinshin in front of the camera had changed completely. Before, she had fair skin, a slender figure, and eyes that seemed to hold a pool of clear spring water, but now, even with heavy makeup, she couldn't hide the weariness in her eyes. Her dark circles are almost falling to her chest. The fans watching the live stream also noticed something was off. What's been going on with the streamer lately? Why does she look so worn out? Has she not been resting well? Yeah, after taking a month off to recuperate, shouldn't she look more refreshed? Why does it seem like the streamer hasn't had a good night's sleep in ages? Staring at the barrage of comments flying across the livestream, Bai Xinshin's eyes were vacant. I don't know why, but I feel like I've been especially unlucky lately. Before, during a livestream, I even fell down the stairs. I thought it was just an accident, but later, I realized things were getting more and more strange. Since then, nothing has gone right for me. I got hit by a chandelier in a shopping mall. My car got scratched when I went out, and even when I went to the beauty salon for skincare, the equipment malfunctioned and nearly ruined my face. Moreover, my social relationships have been incredibly strained lately. Friends I used to be very close with are now arguing with me every day. My upstairs neighbor even accused me of stealing his package, but I never did. The most absurd incident was when I came home late one night and found a strange man lying in my bed. I was so terrified that I immediately called the police, but when they arrived, there was nothing there. Bai Xinshin seemed mentally exhausted, and as she spoke, it was as if she was recalling some unpleasant memories, her eyes filled with fear. Fans in the live stream started offering suggestions. Could it be that the blogger is suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder after the injury? I went through something similar before and only got better after a long period of psychological counseling at the hospital. There's another possibility. I noticed the blogger's IP is from Yunnan. Could it be that they ate some poisonous mushrooms and are now hallucinating? I suggest the streamer go out more, enjoy nature, and they'll definitely get better. The live chat was filled with messages comforting Bai Xinshin, with only one comment standing out as different. The reason you're having such bad luck is that you're wearing someone else's lucky bracelet on your wrist. Return it to its owner immediately, or your misfortune will continue and could even threaten your life. I noticed that this person's ID is Fenghe, and it seems to be the same netizen who reminded Bai Xinshin about the lucky bracelet last time. Who exactly is this person? As soon as his comment was posted, it attracted a wave of attacks from Bai Xinshin's fans. Is this person crazy? The streamer is already in such a tough situation, and he comes here to scare her. That's just too much. So, didn't the streamer call the police last time? Why is he still jumping around here? Streamer, quickly block him. This netizen named Fim has sent another comment. As I said, return the bracelet as soon as possible, or it will be too late. As soon as this comment was posted, Bai Xinshin's live stream suddenly cut off. I was just about to open this homepage called Fimha to take a look, but unexpectedly, my phone suddenly rang. It was Bai Xinshin calling. She was hysterically shouting at me over the phone. Songbing, are you crazy? What nonsense are you spouting in my live stream? What kind of bullshit lucky bracelet? Let me tell you, I don't believe in it, and don't even think about using these things to scare me. This bracelet was bought by Qingjun and given to me. There's no way I'm giving it back to you. So stop daydreaming. I was completely speechless. Bai Xinshin has already been tormented to the point of losing half her life because of the transport bracelet, yet she still refuses to let go of my bracelet. She really won't give up until she's faced with the harsh reality. Bai Xinshin was acting like a madwoman, still raging on the other end of the phone. I tried several times but couldn't get a single word in. In the end, I simply hung up on her. I wanted to see what other bizarre things could happen to Bai Xinshin, this third party who had taken over someone else's place. Sure enough, it wasn't long before I heard more strange stories about Bai Xinshin. Apart from finding small, adorable parts in her food and inexplicably falling over while walking, the most famous thing about her is her love-hate relationship with Qingjun. Bai Xinshin seemed as if she were possessed. Always convinced that the girls around Qingjun had ill intentions toward him, there was even a girl in Qingjun's class who merely helped him pick up a package. And Bai Xinshin chased after her, hurling insults, even publicly tearing the girl's clothes and physically assaulting her with punches and kicks. As a result, the girl developed depression, and her parents came to the school to address the issue. The girl's parents demanded that Bai Xinshin be disciplined, but Bai Xinshin kept shouting that she wanted to kill all the seductive women around Qingjun. Did she forget that she herself was once the other woman, in the end? Qingjun had no choice but to scrape together 100,000 yuan from various sources to help Bai Xinxin compensate the girl. I called my mom and asked why the lucky bracelet has a greater impact on relationships. My mother was silent for a while before telling me the truth. She said she had never thought highly of Qingjun from the start, so when she went to get this lucky bracelet for me, she specifically asked for help in matters of love. I wondered why Bai Xinxin was becoming more and more extreme in relationships. It turned out to be because of the lucky bracelet, but such things kept happening one after another. Qingjun discovered that the once delicate and fair-skinned Bai Xinxin had turned into a shrew, so he blocked Bai Xinxin's contact information, broke up with her, and disappeared from her life. But unexpectedly, Bai Xinxin became even more unstable. She would cry and laugh hysterically every night at home, claiming that someone was trying to harm her. Finally, late one night, I saw someone post a photo in their social media feed of an ambulance heading to the neighborhood across from the school. Upon asking, it turned out that Bai Xinxin had jumped from a building. However, the floor she lived on wasn't very high, so when she fell, she only injured her spine and was not in life-threatening danger. But the first thing Bai Xinxin did upon waking up was actually to ask to see me. I thought to myself, since she can barely move now, she probably can't cause any trouble, so I hurried to the hospital. When I saw Bai Xinxin, I was truly shocked. Her hair was disheveled, her skin rough, and the dark circles under her eyes were so heavy it looked like she had been punched. If I didn't know better, I would have thought she was a malevolent ghost that had crawled out of a grave. When Bai Xinxin saw me, a glimmer of light flickered in her eyes, and then she handed the jade bracelet she was holding to me. I'm sorry, Bingbing, I shouldn't have asked Qingjun to steal your jade bracelet. Now I'm returning it to you. Please, I beg you, can you make all those strange things stop coming after me? It's all my fault. You can punish me, do whatever you want. I just beg you, let me go back to being an ordinary person. I beg you, I'll even kneel for you. Okay, please help me. Seeing Bai Xinxin acting a bit strange, I took a step back and didn't take the jade bracelet. But I didn't expect that my half-step back would provoke Bai Xinxin. She let out a scream and fell off the hospital bed. The doctors and nurses rushed over and gave Bai Xinxin a sedative shot, which finally calmed her down, and that lucky bracelet slipped from her hand and fell to the ground. I picked up the bracelet from the floor and put it on my own wrist, watching Bai Xinxin transform from her former vibrant, plump self into this withered state in just a few short months. I suddenly felt a pang of sorrow, but I didn't feel the slightest bit of sympathy for her. I warned her many times, but she insisted on bringing about her own destruction. After retrieving the bracelet, I ignored the now insane Bai Xinxin and turned to leave the hospital. I thought everything had come to an end, but I never expected that I had still underestimated the complexity of the situation. I heard that Bai Xinxin couldn't graduate successfully because of her mental health issues. Her parents believed the problem occurred at school and refused to take her home, instead trying to use this opportunity to extort money from the school. After being discharged from the hospital, Bai Xinxin continued to pester Qingjun, but whether influenced by the bracelet or not, Qingjun started waiting for me at the classroom door and dormitory entrance again, wanting to get back together. When Bai Xinxin found out, she became even more deranged and began stalking Qingjun day and night. Calling the police was useless. It was as if she had lost one of her 3 souls and 7 spirits. Watching Bai Xinxin's crazed behavior, the classmates were all a bit scared. The school teachers also talked to Qingjun, trying every possible method, but they couldn't stop Bai Xinxin until Qixi Festival, when Qingjun stood under the dormitory building holding a bouquet of roses, waiting for me. This completely provoked Bai Xinxin. She grabbed a fruit knife and followed him. Qingjun couldn't enter the girls' dormitory, but Bai Xinxin could. By the time I realized what was happening, Bai Xinxin had already barged in wielding a fruit knife. Her eyes were unfocused, and she began waving the knife around in a delirious manner, afraid she might hurt the other roommates in the dorm. I raised my arm to block her. Instantly, a sharp pain shot through my arm. I looked down and saw that the fruit knife in Bai Xinxin's hand had landed squarely on the exposed part of my arm. My roommate was terrified and quickly called the police. Fortunately, our dorm is quite close to the school clinic, so the wound was treated promptly. Looking at the blood-soaked lucky bracelet, I suddenly felt a bit confused. Mom said this lucky bracelet was supposed to bring me good fortune, so why have I been having such bad luck ever since I started wearing it? This is just too strange. However, the stab wound on the arm was only the beginning. The next day, when I went to the cafeteria to eat, I was just about to get some hot water, but then the thermos next to me exploded, hot water splashed out, and I was not only scalded by the hot water but also cut by the glass fragments. On the 3rd day, after evening classes, as I was walking back to the dormitory, I accidentally stepped on a banana peel and fell flat on my back. My forehead was cut by a stone, and it bled quite a bit. I looked at the jade bracelet on my wrist and felt that something was off. Could all these recent incidents be related to the luck-changing bracelet? Last time I went back to my hometown, because I kept complaining to my mom about how unlucky I had been lately, she helped me get this luck-changing bracelet. Mom said that the lucky bracelet can help filter out bad things and turn misfortune into good luck. Mom also reminded me that this bracelet has been blessed and recognizes its owner, so it shouldn't be worn by others, or it will bring misfortune to the person who wears it. Qingjun stole my lucky bracelet and gave it to Bai Xinxin, and Bai Xinxin did suffer the consequences, but as the owner of the bracelet, wearing it should make my luck better and better, so why do I feel like I've been getting more and more unlucky lately? I wanted to call and ask my mom what was going on, but for some reason, her phone just kept ringing with no answer. Could it be because the lucky bracelet was worn by Bai Xinxin and has already been contaminated? Do I need to take off the jade bracelet and have it blessed again? Just as I had this thought, my phone suddenly rang. A stranger sent me a private message on Douyin. When I opened it, wasn't this the same Fengyi who had reminded Bai Xinxin in her livestream not to wear someone else's lucky bracelet? I was curious about what he had sent me, but the moment I clicked on it, I instantly gasped in shock. The chat dialog box displayed, "Never take off the bracelet, or you will die." I carefully looked at this person's profile picture. It was indeed the same person from Bai Xinxin's livestream that day. Who is this person, and how did they know I wanted to take off the bracelet? I replied to him, "Who are you?" but he didn't answer my question. Instead he asked in return, "Are you the owner of the transfer bracelet?" Although his words left me somewhat puzzled, since they didn't involve any privacy, I answered his question honestly, "Yes." I asked him, "Are you the person from Bai Xinxin's live stream that day? Why can't I take off this bracelet?" He said, "You don't need to know who I am, you're in danger right now." When he sent this message, I didn't have much of an emotional reaction, because I've also noticed myself that something hasn't been quite right lately. My recent streak of bad luck has indeed been unreasonably high. It has even reached a bizarre level. The Fengyi across from me seems to know something. I quickly asked him, "Isn't the transfer bracelet supposed to bring good luck? Why do you say I'm in danger?" He replied quickly, "Because someone is playing tricks behind the scenes." The moment I saw this sentence, I suddenly felt a shock, as if there were a pair of eyes staring at me from behind. I quickly pressed further, "Who is it?" but the other party didn't respond to me. Instead they said, "Never mind who I am, just remember my words. Do not take off the lucky bracelet, or you will be in mortal danger. When this matter is over, the lucky bracelet will naturally bring good fortune to its owner." I refused to give up and asked again, "Don't leave me hanging. Who is it?" But I waited for a long time, and this person never replied to me again, as if they had vanished into thin air. Looking at the jade bracelet on my wrist, I suddenly felt something was eerily strange. This uncomfortable intuition made me want to take it off, but remembering Fengyi's words, I gave up. Although this Fengyi seems a bit mystical, he genuinely appears to know something. I decided to listen to him and continue wearing the bracelet. Back then, Bai Xinxin ended up going mad precisely because she didn't heed his advice. I don't want to be the second Bai Xinxin, but who exactly is the person he said was plotting behind the scenes? After racking my brains without finding an answer, I drifted off to sleep in a daze. In my dream, I saw a skinless baby lying beside me, staring at me and drooling. I was so scared I wanted to scream, but I found I couldn't make a sound in my sleep. Seeing my fear, it seemed even more delighted. Grinning and smiling at me, she said, "Little sister, don't be afraid, I'll protect you." Nerves. I'm an only child, where did I get a sister from? But fear kept me from saying those words out loud. To comfort it, I forced myself to endure the discomfort and said with a smile, "Don't be scared, little sister, just don't scare me like that again from now on." Then, the baby disappeared. I abruptly opened my eyes and quickly turned on the light. It was already bright outside, and the jade bracelet was lying securely on my wrist. The eye-shaped bloodstain on it had also returned to its original appearance. Fem has said someone was playing tricks. Could it be referring to this baby? It's gone. Does that mean my bad luck is about to end and my good luck is about to begin? I got up full of energy, washed up, and prepared to go to the cafeteria for breakfast, but as soon as I stepped out, I saw someone burning paper offerings downstairs by our dormitory. The ashes of the paper were blown by the wind and drifted right into our dormitory window. Suddenly, I felt something was off. I ran to ask the dorm supervisor who was burning paper. The dorm supervisor said she didn't know either. When she woke up in the morning, there was already no one around the paper. Right after that, my bad luck started again. I strongly suspect that my bad luck is related to the people burning paper offerings, but I have no evidence. The next day, people were still burning paper offerings, and they still hadn't been caught. I was so angry that I went and bought a camera and set it up on the dormitory balcony. From this position, I could clearly see the area in front of the dormitory building where the paper offerings were being burned. On the third day, when I got up, there was still paper ash drifting onto the balcony. I opened the camera's memory card and suddenly felt that the person in the video looked familiar. Isn't this the mother of Bai Xinshin, who went crazy and kept demanding compensation from the school? Now that I know who is burning the paper, things are easier to handle. On the fourth day, which happened to be a Friday, there were no classes the next day. I started hiding on the balcony in the early hours, watching every move downstairs. Sure enough, soon a sneaky figure appeared downstairs. She took out the yellow paper from the bag and was just about to burn it. I immediately called the police and also notified the dormitory supervisor and the security guard, catching her red-handed. When Bai Xinshin first transferred to our dorm, I met her mother once. Her mother said to me with a fake smile, "Bing Bing, you're a year older than our Xinshin and come from a better family background. You must take good care of our Xinshin." At that time, innocent and pure-hearted, I readily agreed to her mother's request. This is why, for the next few years, Bai Xinshin treated me like a nanny, but now, her mother has completely changed her attitude. "Why are you arresting me? I haven't broken any laws. I'm really pissed off. You're burning paper at the bottom of the dormitory. What if it causes a fire? And why are you burning paper under our dorm building?" Bai Xinshin's mother spat and yelled, "You bitch, stop playing dumb. If it weren't for you, how could our Xinshin have fallen down the stairs and broken her leg? And then you drove her to jump off a building, and now she's gone crazy. My perfectly fine daughter was completely ruined all because she met a friend like you, you jinx." I'm really speechless. Bai Xinshin's mother, when she gets stubborn, is exactly like Bai Xinshin. At a time like this, her mother actually wants to shift all the blame onto me. Back then, if Bai Xinshin hadn't taken a liking to my jade bracelet, Qingjun wouldn't have come to steal it. And Bai Xinshin wouldn't have ended up in this deranged state. Ultimately, it was Bai Xinshin's own habit of taking advantage of others that harmed her, yet she actually blamed me. Shortly after, the police arrived. Seeing the police had come, Bai Xinshin's mother reluctantly told the truth. It turned out that after Bai Xinshin went mad, her mother had tried to claim compensation from the school but failed. The school reported to the police and shifted all the blame onto Qingjun. Qingjun didn't have much money to begin with, and he had previously borrowed 100,000 yuan to help Bai Cici deal with the assault incident. As a result, he didn't treat Bai Xinshin's mother kindly. When Bai Xinshin's mother failed to get compensation, she went to Qingjun's internship site to cause a scene. Consequently, Qingjun, who had been hopeful about getting a permanent position, was directly dismissed by the company. After losing his job, Qingjun lashed out at Bai Xinshin's mother, saying that the reason Bai Xinshin ended up like this was all my fault. Seeing Bai Xinshin's mental state deteriorating further, her mother then sought out an old Taoist priest for her. The old priest said that the root of the problem ultimately lies with me. The solution was to burn paper offerings downstairs of our dormitory for 7 full days. 7 days later, I will replace Bai Xinshin and become a madman. If the person hasn't come to their senses by then, she can come back to blackmail me for money, and Bai Xinshin's mother actually went along with it. The police gave Bai Xinshin's mother a stern warning. "Auntie, these are all feudal superstitions. They're all scams. Your daughter has mental health issues and should see a doctor at a psychiatric hospital. Picking on a young girl like this, isn't that just taking advantage of your age? Considering this is your first offense, I won't detain you, but if there's a next time, it won't be this simple." After the police left, I spent some time coaxing and intimidating Bai Xinshin's mother until she finally apologized properly and promised not to cause me any more trouble. Only then did the matter come to an end. After that incident, I never encountered any more strange or troublesome situations, but I still wasn't at ease, so before Bai Xinshin's mother left, I asked her for the old Taoist priest's contact information. I tried every possible way to get in touch with this old Taoist priest, wanting to go and see what kind of person he was, but when I arrived, I found that the old Taoist priest's lair had already been completely wiped out. In its place was a treasure appraisal agency called Hifeng Treasure Appraisal. Feng He. I pushed the door open and walked in, finding a young man who looked to be in his early 20s sitting at the front desk. Immediately after, I saw my mother lift the curtain and walk out from behind him. The moment I saw my mother, my pupils instantly trembled with shock. "Mom, what are you doing here?" My mom was also a bit surprised to see me. Before she could say anything, I shouted with disbelief, "Mom, is this Feng your illegitimate child? You have the surname He, and he also has the surname He." As soon as my mom heard, she rushed over and kicked me. "Have you lost your mind? This is your uncle." It turned out that this Feng was actually my grandmother's child born in her later years. However, Due to his poor health, he had been raised in our hometown and rarely went out. As for the lucky bracelet my mom gave me, the reason it continued to malfunction later was because it was secondhand. My mom had taken her unused lucky bracelet to a master for blessing, so that's why I took the bracelet back from Bai Xinshin, and it's also the reason why strange things keep happening. It turns out that the true owner of this lucky bracelet is my mother, not me. Fortunately, my uncle acted early. Otherwise I would have been in trouble too.